Hello, everyone. Thank you and welcome to yet another edition of the Kathy Barnette podcast. I am so appreciative of you guys. I say it all the time, but I just want to make an acknowledgement that because I recognize I cannot do what we're doing without you, my listeners. And almost every single week, we are landing in the top 100 of Apple Podcasts. I'm so very grateful to all of you. Just for those who are not on Apple Podcasts, go over, or if you want to see the video of this, you can go to my YouTube channel at Kathy Barnette, and you can find the actual video of these podcasts as well. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate it so very much for each and every one of you. And like always, I have a very interesting guest. I find my guest to be very interesting. I think you're going to really like this one, Miss Valentina Gomez. Welcome.
Kathy, good morning. Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Yes, I am enjoying everything about you. I woke up this morning and I was going through your Instagram. I was going through your Twitter. And I'm just loving it. I'm loving the youthfulness of it all. I'm loving the fact that you just don't care. You're like, this is what's right. This is what's true. And I'm going to say it whether y'all like it or not. And that resonates with me. I know it resonates with so many other Americans. So again, I appreciate you for being on. For the rest of you who may not know Miss Valentina Gomez, she is running as a candidate for Secretary of State in the state of Missouri. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
That's right. The great state of Missouri, Kathy. And I am bold. I owe nothing to nobody. So I'm not going to make any apologies for being truthful, for putting common sense right in the people's eyes, because that's what we need. And I'm not sure if you've seen my video. I'm pretty sure you have, in the rest of the world as well. The latest video where I basically fire up a little LGBTQ books. So some of the headlines that the left pushed onto the world is that they called me extremely problematic. And honestly, Kathy, I love it because I'm in fact an extreme problem to the globalists. I'm an extreme problem to corruption. I'm a problem to the groomers that want to sexualize and indoctrinate our children. I'm a problem to the pedophiles that want to pry on our little kids. So yes, they're 100% right of me being the extreme problem of the year, of the century, whatever they want to call it, because my allegiance is to the people, to the Constitution, and most importantly, to God. So if they want to come for me, if they want to come for the children, they have to come for me first.
I truly appreciate it. And this is not a light position to take. It is an extreme amount of pressure when you decide that you will not just sit down, shut up, be quiet, and recede into the background. Now, I think that's a perfect segue of you mentioning your video. I actually have a clip of it. And for those of you who are listening to the audio version, again, go over to my YouTube channel at Kathy Barnette and on YouTube, and you can see this.
This is what I will do to the growing books when I become Secretary of State.
Let's go. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't make it down.
These books come from Missouri Public Library. When I'm in office, they will burn.
Please don't take offense. It isn't you, I'm just not.
It is so cool. So for those who are listening to the audio version of this, you see Valentina Gomez looking determined and she has a blowtorch in her hand and she's incinerating a couple of books. I looked them up. One of the books you are incinerating is, what is it? Naked, Not Your Average Sex Encyclopedia. The other book is Queer, second edition, The Ultimate LGBTQ Guide for Teens. You have both of those books on a little table and you are incinerating it. Why are you such a problem, Valentina? Why can't you just shut up, be quiet, and go along with the script?
Oh, Kathy, unfortunately, I'm not a Democrat, so I can't do that. And I mean, I can pull the identity card whenever I want. Nobody can beat me in the identity politics game. And Kathy, I am a woman. I am Latina. I am an immigrant. I'm a self-made millionaire. I earned my MBA from Tulane University at 22. I used to be a former Division I swimmer. Now I'm running for office. So the excuse of racism being a problem to the United States, it is completely insignificant, because if you want to be successful, get ready, because the journey is not for the weak. It's for the ones that are willing to put in the work, because Darwinism is coming for all of us, especially for the rainbow bullies, because we got to understand that they're coming for the children, and they have gotten the children, and we cannot allow that to happen. We cannot allow that to continue. And I am a big problem for them. I'm a big problem to, like I said before, to corruption, to the pedophiles, to the groomers. And we're not going anywhere. Kathy, you and I, we're here for the long haul.
Absolutely. Now, you call them rainbow bullies. I don't think I've ever heard it put that way. I mean, but they're so kind and they're happy, and they just want to go and read certain books to our children, dressed typically in prostitute attire. What's wrong with that? Why are you calling them the rainbow bullies?
Oh, the rainbow bullies are just a facade of disgusting, terrible men posing as women, mocking us with this lingerie type of outfits and going to the libraries to infest the children with their disgusting material. That's what they are. They want us to be okay with that. They want us to be okay with that material, with sexual pornographic material.
Well, I mean, why? But why isn't it okay? Why? Now, obviously, if you have paid any attention to my podcast or Googled me recently, you know I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate with Valentina. But these are the arguments. Like, why shouldn't we, Valentina, be okay with grown men dressed typically in prostitute attire, sitting in front of 5-year-olds, reading books like Naked, not your average sex encyclopedia? Why shouldn't we be okay? I mean, like, why should we not be okay with that? What's wrong with that?
Oh, well, Kathy, we have to respect and we have to protect the innocence of children. This is not material for them. This is not even material I want to read on an everyday basis. Why do they want to come straight to the children? Why do they want to brainwash their minds with sexual material instead of teaching them math, science, history, worthwhile, significant things, not sexual indoctrination? That's what we're doing.
But now what about respecting them? Like, they want to feel comfortable in their skin, the transgender, the L, the B, the G, the T, the Q, the A, the I, the plus, all of those little categories. They want, I mean, they're people. They have feelings. They want to share their view. Why is that not okay to take into a first grade class?
Kathy, I have nothing against the gay community. Nothing. If you want to be gay, and I've been very clear about this, be gay. Do whatever you want. You're an adult. But don't bring that onto the children. George Santos, the former congressman from New York, and even the organization Gays Against Rumors have come out to support me because they understand that the work that I'm doing, what I'm fighting for in Missouri, for the children, for libraries, is important, because now we're going to go straight into the path of normalizing pedophilia. And that's not going to work with me. It never will. It never has.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that the reason why you can't just shut up and be quiet is because you're not a Democrat. Now, I agree. Democrats are a special kind of bobblehead, and they just like, like whatever the narrative is, it seems as though even if they take issues with the narrative, they find a way to just bobblehead along and say yes to it. But I'm also finding that this same kind of just shut up, be quiet, don't be radical, just go along with it has also infected the Republican Party as well. What do you think about that?
I 100% agree with you. They're malleable, they victimize themselves, and they're corrupt. They like to go through the easy way. That's who they are. And also the Republicans, they let themselves they're bought. The majority of Republicans are bought as well. And that's what I'm going up against. I'm going against Democrats and Republicans who have allowed the purchase of the policies of Missouri. And they're the ones that caused the problem in the first place. And we, the people, have allowed that because we were asleep. We got too comfortable. We let them do everything they wanted, and now we're fighting back. But we still have time to redeem ourselves, to seek redemption. And that's why I'm running for office.
I think so, right? I mean, I often say to people, I don't have a crystal ball. Jesus has not sat down and told me the intimate details of tomorrow and what's going to happen to our country. So I don't know if our nation, if we can pull our country away from the precipice, from the edge. But my family and we have committed that whatever way our country is going to go, we will not sit on the couch and watch it, but we're going to engage. We're going to do our part, and we're going to try to influence whatever aspect of our country that we can. And when you look at what's going on, whether it's the open borders and the flooding of illegals, we don't even know who these people are, the overwhelming majority of them. We don't know where they're coming from. Not all of them. We don't know. We don't even know if they like us or not as a country. Like, do they have any nefarious intentions? We're watching the fentanyl, 100,000 Americans being killed with fentanyl that's also flooding through our borders. We're watching again the sexualization of our children, some of the most innocent people. We're watching the destruction of the family unit. We're watching men who have lived their entire lives as men put on fingernail polish, grow their hair out, and then take showers next to our little girls or compete with our young women. And we're supposed to all stand around and pretend this is normal. And if you dare take some of the stance that you have taken, you're called all kinds of ugly names. You're called a radical. You're called that you're putting people in danger, their lives in danger, because you dare to say there are only two genders. Everything else, this is what I say. There are only two genders. Everything else is a mental health crisis. Waiting for a compassionate psychiatrist to sit down with these people. So I have great respect for anyone in the culture in which we're living in, where it is so much easier to just shut up, sit down, be quiet, keep your head down, make your money, and then just live as peacefully as you can. I have tremendous amount of respect for those like yourself, like Vivek Ramaswamy and so many others who say, no, not on my watch. Not on my watch. If this country is going to go down in flames, I'm not going to be the one sitting on the couch watching it. I'm going to engage in the battle.
The United States was built on willpower and fortitude. And we don't go down as cowards. We're going to go down, we're going to fight, and we're going to show up as warriors. That's who we are. And we're a threat. We're a big threat because we're compromising their disgusting ideologies. They don't work. They've never worked before. They're pushing this ever since Joe Biden got elected, because he definitely didn't get 81 million votes. And that's why they're bringing all of these illegal immigrants. And Kathy, I went to the border last year. I went to Arizona, Lookville, Arizona, and I just came back from Eagle Pass. And I am the only one that has actually made the effort to travel to all of these places to see what is happening. I called out that there are military-age men coming into the border, through the border. I got called a racist. I got called crazy, that I should go back to where I come from.
And it doesn't matter that your name ends with Gomez, right? Like, they're calling you a racist.
The racist part is not going to work with me. Come on, Kathy. The Democrats can come for me all they want. They cannot continue to victimize themselves and not have any accountability for their actions.
Because what kind of support are you getting within the Republican Party?
None. Everything being paid out of my own pocket. I am a successful businesswoman. I have worked hard for everything I have, and I am putting everything on the line, my life on the line, my family's life on the line, because I'm putting them into the public eye. And it already went worldwide. So they understand that what I'm doing is to try to fight and protect this country, because I love this country too much to let it go to waste, to let these Democrats, globalists, disgusting socialist communists destroy it. So I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, now I don't like identity politics. I wrote my book. The first couple of chapters of my book talks about how I reject identity politics, and I recognize that they use it as a tool to accumulate power for themselves, right? So if we're looking at the Democrat Party, they don't care about Black lives. Black lives don't matter to them. You can just look at Black lives in predominantly Black communities, and you can clearly see if this is love, I don't want any part of it, right? When you look at the crime and you look at the homelessness, the drugs, you look at the school system, how poor it is, you can clearly see Democrats who I have yet to find Republicans actually in a position of power in predominantly Black communities. So they're all being ran by Democrats, and Democrats tell us that they love Black people. And yet you look in these communities that are predominantly Black and you can tell, again, if that's love, I don't want it. But I recognize that they use it, they say it because it's a very powerful tool. It causes a whole segment of our population, not just Black people, but sympathetic, naive white people, to continue to vote Democrats into positions of power and control, right? So it's a very powerful tool to use all of these stereotypes. So I reject it. But I also recognize that we're living in a culture that is very open to being manipulated by these different, I'm a woman, I'm Black, you're Hispanic. I grew up poor and now I'm not. And, I worked really hard. They use all of these different categories for power. I reject it. But I understand we live in a culture that is very sympathetic to all of those categories. And so now I look at the Republican Party and I look at someone like yourself. You're young, right? We always hear the left talk about young people. Okay, you're young. You're very beautiful. You are an immigrant. That's another box. So you're young. You're an immigrant. I'm assuming you came in legally and now you're a citizen?
Yes.
Okay.
I have all identity card game.
I know, right? So, and yet, when I asked the question, and you're conservative. Those are a lot of the categories. And when I asked the question, what has the Republican Party done to bring you into the fold, to help you, to provide not just money, but other resources or strategies or people who can come alongside you and give you insight so you don't have to step in different minefields. Why is the Republican Party not, why are they looking a gift horse in the mouth? You're the gift horse. Why is the Republican Party looking a gift horse in the mouth and not coming alongside you? Why do you think?
Kathy, because they're corrupt. They fear me because I don't have any special interest. All of those guys that are in Jefferson City, all over Missouri, they're controlled. They have already sold themselves, and I'm never going to do that because I have to do the right thing for Missouri, the right thing for the United States. And these DEI mayors that we have in blue cities, St. Louis, St. Paul, LA, they have destroyed their cities. Look at New York City with Eric Adams. They use race as a way to victimize themselves, to victimize their state, and then destroy it, drive it to the ground. And that's exactly what has happened. Look at BLM and Antifa. They caused more than $2 billion in damages all across the country when they started firing up the cities. They burned cities to the ground. They burned St. Louis, St. Paul, LA. And who went to jail?
Well, they went in, but then they came right back out like a revolving door, right? Okay, so we get it. Democrats suck. I agree. But I'm not a Democrat. You're not a Democrat. We're Republicans. And so why has the Republican Party not come alongside you in the manner in which they should?
Kathy, I don't want their support and I don't need their support if it comes with special interest.
Yeah. Now, clearly, I often say the Republican Party, right? Again, Democrats suck. I don't spend a whole lot of time talking about Democrats. But I believe that, the Republican Party, I'm sure you will agree, we're not perfect, but we're in a two-party system nation. And so you have to pick one party or the other. I will never vote Democrat. So I'm stuck within the Republican Party. And I believe it is our job not to jump ship, but to perfect it, to put its feet to the fire. And when you look at the Republican Party, I typically kind of say it's a third, right? You have a third who most would identify as establishment, rhinos. They generally are the ones who are controlling the political system within the party. And then you have another 2/3 who identify more so as conservative, whether they are hardcore MAGA or whether they are people who love this country. We are about America first. I'm in this particular category. I love my country. I'm all about my country, and I will hold all of my leaders' feet to the fire. I don't care who you are. I am not in a cult. I want good leadership, right? But that bucket represents about 2/3, right? The hardcore MAGA, and then you have people who are more like myself. I want great leadership, and I'm willing to hold everyone's feet to the fire. I believe in the Constitution and all of that. That's about 2/3. So we are the majority. So I get the rhinos have not done much for you, the establishment, because they're part of this uniparty. Most of them, not all, but most of them. What about the 2/3? What about the hardcore MAGA? What about people who find themselves a little bit more like me? Have you gotten the support that you need?
I have gotten the support from hardworking Americans, and not just from Missouri, but all over the country.
I love that.
Parents, organizations, teachers have reached out for help and for support because they're waking up to the fact that there's hope within our party, that there's actually somebody fighting to lead this state, to lead them into success, into accountability, because that's something we don't have anymore. Everyone just runs and does whatever they want. They say one thing and do the other one. They stab us in the back. And that's exactly why we have such a big problem in the United States, because they already sold themselves. And for the Uniparty, get ready, because I'm coming for every single one of them. I'm going to be voting them out one by one. And their political careers, their corrupt political careers, are about to end.
So what is the makeup of Missouri state political system? Is the governor Republican or Democrat?
He's a rhino Republican. I called him out.
Mm-hmm.
Rhino Republican person. I called him out last year, I think somewhere in December, that he sold Missouri to China, essentially. So basically, China can buy Missouri land in Missouri, and there's no problem. So I am not okay with that. I went after him. He tried to come after me, and at the end of the day, he's a governor. Somebody new has to step in and reject, take away, and remove everything he has done, because it is not for Missouri's interest.
And now the incumbent, the person you're running against, is he or she an incumbent?
It's a bunch of they.
I'm sorry?
No. So it's 4 rhino guys that have been in the corrupt political sphere for about more than 10, 15 years. And as far as I'm concerned, they're all running for second place.
Good. Okay. So what is it that made you so successful? You came here. Tell me a little bit about your backstory. Did you come here as a child? Did you come here as a child with your parents or on your own?
So I came here when I was 10 years old. My family and I came to the United States because of my mother's job. And we are here, and I am here today because of their sacrifices they made, because of the way they had worked on them. They used to work 16 hours a day. So that way my brothers and I could actually be in sports, could go to school, and we earned our ways through college, through grad school. I got my full ride MBA from Tulane University in finance at 22, and now running a real estate empire with my brother. We're expanding it. I have a full-time job. And Kathy, like I said before, I make no apologies for mediocrity. If you want to be successful, get ready, because the journey is tough. The journey is not for the weak. It is so rewarding.
Life is hard. Life can be beautiful, and life has its sweetness. But if you want to build something for yourself, that's hard work. a lot of slammed doors. You have to deal with people who are not nice, people who are mean. So there's a lot of heartaches, a lot of things to be learned. So life is tough, but it's worth it, right?
It's worth it as long as you have God first in everything that you do, because He can feel on everything. He gives us strength, wisdom, discernment, and He guides us along the way to achieve His purpose, because it is not ours, it is His. He puts that fire within us, and He allows us to bring more people into the picture, because there's always room for everyone to succeed, but you have to put in the work. He's not a socialist, Kathy, let's be honest. He wants you to put in the work. He has to make you suffer a bit so that way you can shape yourself. It can shape you into the actual great human being that we can become. And we're a work in progress. We're imperfect human beings, but we acknowledge it and we work on ourselves every single day to make the impossible possible with Him.
Do you think you talking about Him? Who is Him? Jesus, I assume you're talking about. Do you think talking about Jesus would hamper or hurt your prospects in this race?
Well, if it hurts people, I don't care. I don't care. And that's very insignificant to me, because God is first, Jesus is king, and He's not going anywhere. And if you don't want to vote for me because of that, then don't vote. Go vote for the corrupt politician. That's all I care.
Let me tell you, this is so refreshing, right? Because I talked about Jesus whenever I feel like it, right? I equate it to, you have people reading how to give an effective blowjob, books that talk about how to give an effective blowjob to 7 and 8-year-olds. And you're going to tell me I can't mention the name of Jesus, that I can't talk about? My life, I gave my life to the Lord when I was 19, and there was a path that I was on, and I remember that path very clearly. And now, from 19 on, I am living I'm on a completely different path. And the difference between these two paths is Jesus. And why would I not talk about that? Why would I not talk about the life that He has provided me and the family He has allowed me to be able, along with my husband, to create? Why would I not talk about that? That's exciting to me, and that's joy. And yet, even among Republicans, I'm not even talking about Democrats, they, people look, like side eye and like shocked when you mention the name of Jesus. And yet they will sit there and not say a word if someone from the LGBTQIA mafia come up and talk about how to give an effective blowjob, and the fact that you should allow them to talk about it. I think that's more of a cultural issue. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. We've taken God out of the picture. That's why we're going downhill. That's why the United States is a fallen state. Because we used to put God first on everything. Look at, I pledge allegiance to the flag. First, let's start with that. One nation under God. Right now, we're one nation under a bunch of fried, useless ideologies that don't work. And that's why we're suffering. So yes, I'm going to put God first in everything that I do, on all of these speeches, on every single policy, because He's the one that has actually made this country great. He's the one that brings the light within us, the person that finds the way. So if they don't like it, too bad. I'm going to fight. I'm pretty sure they cannot keep up with me. They have to keep up with their hormone blockers and their insane ideologies. So yeah, I can assure you that Darwinism is coming for them.
You know what? And if you are transgender again, like you, my general take is, if you like it, I love it. Why should I care? I shouldn't have an opinion, right? As an adult, if you want to mutilate your body, I would, if it was brought to my attention and I had the opportunity to engage in a conversation and perhaps put out there alternative options other than mutilating your body, I will do that. But at the end of the day, if you're an adult and my tax dollars are not paying for any kind of surgeries, then again, you like it, I love it, I'm going to move on. There's 99 problems and I don't want you to be one of them. But children are not adults. And I have spent an exorbitant amount of time with young children who are lied to and told that they could be something other than their biology, that they could trick the world and themselves into believing something that's not true. And now I'm watching these children who have gone through this now want to detransition, and you can never really go back. And their lives have been altered on really just crackpot science. There is no science that says this is the best way of helping children who are having a dysphoria or a disconnect between reality.
That is correct. And it is child abuse. They weren't protected. Their parents didn't protect them. I don't expect the government to do so, but their parents didn't do their job. The parents gave in into the ideology that children could choose whatever they want. You cannot even ask a child what he or she wants for dinner. What are you going to ask him or her if he wants to mutilate himself? If he wants to start hormone blockers? If today you're a girl, tomorrow you can be a boy. No, there's only two genders. Only women can have children. And we need to stop affirming these lunatics. No, that's why they come after me, because I don't affirm anyone, especially the children. The children are the seeds of hope. They're the ones that are going to fight for you and I when we're done here. Kathy, our lives are limited and they're in danger. They're being mutilated. They're being indoctrinated. They're being destroyed. Many of them are killing themselves.
Yeah, are you familiar with Chloe Cole?
Yes, I met her. I met Chloe. It is crazy what happened to her. She's a warrior. She's fighting back.
She is.
And they're still coming after her. And I messaged her. I said, don't stop.
She's amazing. She's like my little sis, like the little sis I wouldn't mind having, but just an amazing person with this amazing story. And I love being around her. I mean, I had the opportunity just to spend so much personal time with her. And yet there is a sadness within me of recognizing, that this did not have to happen. And, and I have talked to her about, tell me about your mom and your dad. Like, what were they doing? Like, if my son or daughter came to me and said, Mom, I think I'm in the wrong body and I want to have these surgeries, it would be like hell to the no. We ain't doing that. Like literal hell. I'm not cussing, but like literal hell to the no. We're not doing that, right? I don't care what you say, but she talks about her parents, and so therefore when I get to these conversations are so nuanced, they're so complex, and it's not black and white. There are certain things that are just hardcore black and white, right? Like as you said, only a woman can give birth. And a boy can never become a girl. Even if he mutilates and chemically castrates himself, he will still never be a girl. Like those are immutable truths. But then you're talking to her parents and other parents that I've had the opportunity to speak with. And many of them were just emotionally manipulated, emotionally blackmailed. Being told, and it must be something that the psychiatrists are told or trained to tell the parents, because I'm talking to a number of parents across the state and they're all saying very similar things, like the psychiatrist telling the parent, either you have a dead son or an alive daughter or a living daughter, right? Like that's emotional blackmail.
They have weaponized parents' emotions. They have weaponized their want to have a purpose, to have a say, to be known in the world. And that goes right straight to mutilating the children. Pharma is all around us. The corrupt pharma wants to destroy us. They're poisoning our food, our water, our children now, castrating them. So we're just dollars. And of course, they're great at marketing, Kathy. And I give it to them because they're great at it and we actually haven't caught on it. But now we are. And it's at the expense of children that have been destroyed, unfortunately, because we weren't smart enough, we weren't savvy enough to actually call these disgusting atrocities out, because this This is eugenics. This is genocide on the children. It is what it is.
And I love how you just said, like, we weren't smart. Cause I think about that, like, why didn't I see this so much sooner? Or why didn't I, do more, just become more aware? And yes, they are brilliant with the marketing. And I think also there's an element of most of us are just, we're sane, we're rational people, and we're thinking to ourselves, surely someone is going to stand up and stop this lunacy. But they're not. They're just like, the doors of our nation has been open and they're the flood. Clearly, that is not the right thing to do. And I think most of us are reasonable, rational people. And we're like, surely someone is going to stand up and put a stop to this. But no one is.
We fell asleep, Kathy, and now we're fighting back. And they know that we're not going anywhere. So the kids, there's still kids that need to be saved, that are going to be saved. Is the fight going to be rough? Yes, it is, but it's worth it.
Hello, everyone. Mike Lindell and My Pillow employees want to thank my listeners for all of your continued support. And to thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code Kathy. That's Kathy with a K. And you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the My Pillow 2.0. Also, you get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived. Y'all know it's cold out there, so you will need it, and you know they won't last long. 6-pack towel sets are only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA for sale as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from their brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, the dog bed. And let me tell you, the dog bed is amazing. Harriet, our chocolate lab, she sleeps on it every night. It is, not only is it beautiful, it's comfortable. I found my dog and my daughter laying on the bed all together, but you can get blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get it and to get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-988-3934 and use promo code Kathy, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-988-3934 or go to mypillow.com, use promo code Kathy with the K. Thank you so much for listening, and blessings. Listen, I want to support you. I have a pack, and I'm going to make sure that we can get some resources over to you as well. I just want to encourage you. You know, it was something that I saw with Vivek Ramaswamy. I was his national grassroots director for the campaign, and it was something that I saw with him is, he's 37. You're 24, I think. And it's, and it's just a natural progression of life. When you're 24, when you're 37, you're young. And it's a natural disposition of yours to see that your best days are still ahead of you. It's just a natural position that young people take, unless, of course, they're riddled with anxiety because they're being told they have to solve climate change by the age of 9. But apart from that, or that they can choose their gender, apart from those poor souls who are suffering from very real anxiety.
Well, that we're victims as well.
Yes, right? That everybody is out to get you, right? But apart from that, young people should be like you. Young people should be like Vivek, who naturally believe my best days are still ahead of me. But instead, when you look at those who are actually in leadership, it's those who are just naturally on the lifespan of people. They're in a position where, because of their age, you want to take less risk. You don't want to divert. You want to, the thought is you want to be safe.
don't want to make people upset with you because of your views.
You know, because I mean, like, you just want to be smaller. You don't want to take a lot of risk. I mean, it's the same philosophy in the world of investing, is that the younger you are, the more riskier you can be in your investment portfolio, versus as you mature in age, you want to become more and more risk adverse. You don't want to take a lot of risk. And we're living at a time where we need hungry people. We need people who are hungry for change, for something that is good, who are willing. I mean, when you look at our founding fathers, they were, I think, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence at the age of 31 or 33, right? These are hungry people. They were just at that natural point in their life. And so when I see young people doing what you're doing, I mean, that gives me hope, because your generation should be hungry, should be willing to take the risk of putting a stake in the ground and saying, this is true, this is false, let's close these borders. That's what we need. We don't need a bunch of way overripe adults in their 70s and 80s, late 60s, trying to run this country at the time that we find ourselves in today.
We need strong men and women with a mission. I am a woman on a mission. Donald Trump is on a mission. You're on a mission, Kathy. Vivek is on a mission. And I'm still waiting for the second half of his endorsement. Vivek gave me the first half, and I'm coming for the second half.
I love it. You know what? When we get off this, I'll make sure that he's reminded of that second half of an endorsement. Because I honestly believe that when we see good people, when we see good people who are willing to take the bullets and the arrows, who are willing to get dragged across the internet. I mean, when people try to Google me, I tell them, go to page 3, it gets better. But a lot of people aren't okay with that. Everyone is not going to be willing to stand up and say, this is who I am. This is where I stand. Because it takes a different kind of individual. And I say to people all the time, everyone doesn't have to do what you are doing, but everyone has a role to play. Whether that role is to volunteer for your campaign, knock on doors, send out letters, make phone calls, or whether you've been blessed with financial means or not even. Everyone, forsake going to Starbucks a couple of times and say, I'm going to give this money over to others who are willing to do what I'm not willing or capable of doing. And so that is my charge to every single person who is listening to this. We all have a role to play. And that is not just tweeting. That is not just scrolling on Facebook. We all have an active role to play. And so I challenge each and every one of you, if you don't like the direction our nation is going, do something about it. Maybe you're not going to do what Valentina Gomez is doing, or what I have done and am doing, or what others are doing, but you have a role to play. Figure out what that role is and then get busy doing it now. Valentina, I'm going to give you the last words.
And thank you so much, Kathy, for those kind words. And don't forget to put God first in everything that you do. Don't forget to do that, because he's the one that's going to guide us through this crazy roller coaster of life. It is beautiful. It is tough. It is amazing. It is rewarding. But we don't go down as cowards. We are warriors. We're awakening lions. And we have the power to vote. That's the most important power that we have. We have the power to vote, to change our political landscape from corruption to correctness. And that's what I'm doing here. Thank you so much, Kathy, for your support. And we're going to take America back. Donald Trump is going to get back in office. Hopefully Vivek becomes VP, and we're going to make America.
That would be amazing. I love that, right? I used to say to people all the time, if you want to, a lot of people are like, okay, I'm going to pray for you. And I would say, thank you. Pray and vote. Pray and donate. Pray and make some phone calls for me. Pray and we have to pray. Prayer is powerful. And I'm very grateful that you reminded us of that. I mean, I love myself some Jesus. I'm so very grateful to what he has done. And regardless of where our nation is going, nothing is taking him by surprise.
Everything is going the way He has plans. And like I said before, lions are awakening. And we needed this to happen for all of us to wake up, to run for office, to find our true purpose, our true mission.
I love it. Valentina, I just adore you. You are so amazing. Can I pray for you? Can I pray for you real quick? Heavenly Father, Jesus, you are so amazing. You are good. Nothing takes you by surprise. And we submit ourselves to you, Lord God, that you will direct our steps, that you will open up the eyes of our understanding, that you will give us insight. Your word said that you will tell us, okay, now turn left. Okay, now stop, turn right. So, Lord God, we just submit ourselves to you, and we're so grateful to you, Holy Spirit. We're so grateful to you, Father. Have your way. Just protect us, protect all of those of us who are put our hands to the plow. We ask that you protect our families, our loved ones. We place them in your hand, and we ask that you encamp Valentina as she goes out and about, that you encamp her with your angels. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Guys, thank you so very much. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, share these podcasts. If you are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. All of this goes into the algorithms. All of this allows us to get our word. It just elevates what it is that we're doing, so more and more people can hear it. Thank you so much. Blessings. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.